As the threats of Donald Trump issuing retribution against all of those people that he feels have wronged him over the years become even graver, even Bernie Sanders at this point, independent senator from the state of Vermont, even Bernie Sanders is now saying that President Biden may want to seriously consider issuing some of those preemptive pardons just to protect these people from Donald Trump making their lives hell. Here is what Bernie Sanders said this past weekend on Meet the Press. When Trump talks about sending to jail people who won that people who were on that January 6th committee, that sounds like being a tin-pot dictator. So I would hope that we have an FBI and a Justice Department that protects the civil liberties of the American people and does its best to protect the American democracy. Host Kristen Welker then responded by saying, well, we know the White House is considering potential preemptive pardons of those who've clashed with President-elect Trump in light of what the President-elect said to me that, yes, he does think that members of the January 6th committee should go to jail. Do you think that Mr. Biden should issue preemptive pardons for the entire January 6th committee? Bernie responded, well, I think he might want to consider that very seriously. Look, that is an outrageous statement. That is what authoritarianism is all about. It's what dictatorship is all about. You do not arrest elected officials who disagree with you. So if we're at the point where even Bernie Sanders is like, you know what, maybe Biden ought to take a look at this and see what he can do. I think that's a good indicator that, you know what, President Biden, it's time to issue these preemptive pardons. There is no need to wait. You can do it like you did for your son Hunter. Just say from this period of time to this period of time, you are pardoned from any federal crimes that you may have committed. I do not care what they are. I do not care where they were. If it happened between this date and this date, you are forgiven. And for the record, legally speaking, the president does have the authority to do that. However, it comes with a risk, right? The Supreme Court tells us that the acceptance of a pardon is tantamount to an admission of guilt. And when you have an admission of guilt, you no longer have Fifth Amendment protections. So in the off chance one of these people who receives a preemptive pardon actually did commit a federal crime or was party to a federal crime, they would no longer have Fifth Amendment protection. So if your buddy robbed a bank or and you knew that they robbed a bank, you're not going to be able to go there and say like, I plead the Fifth. You'll have to testify against your buddy for whatever crime they may have committed. Now, again, that is a risk, but at the same time, I don't know that that's applicable, right? Yeah, you lose your Fifth Amendment protection for anything you may have been aware of that happened during the time for which you were pardoned, but the odds of that are like super duper low. So it is a risk, but I don't think it's like a real risk. I think the benefit to the preemptive pardon outweighs that potential risk that probably doesn't even exist. But it shouldn't just be the January 6th committee, right? Because that's just one of a few people Donald Trump is threatening to go after. He's threatening to go after media outlets. He's threatening to prosecute journalists. He is threatening to prosecute you, President Biden. Threatening to prosecute Bill and Hillary Clinton. And again, if these people committed crimes, I'm all for prosecuting them. The problem is, none of them did. Okay? As much as you may hate some of these people, they didn't commit crimes. I don't like Liz Cheney, but she didn't commit crimes. Her father, obviously, with some war crimes, you could probably tag onto him, but you know what I'm saying. These people need protection. Because even though they did nothing wrong, Donald Trump and his Department of Justice, Kash Patel, possibly at the FBI, they can make these people's lives hell. They can drain them of all of their financial resources by putting them through years of investigations, people having to lawyer up and sit for depositions and travel for depositions. For a lot of, non-members of Congress that are going to be targeted, that is going to destroy these people financially. They will have nothing left. I mean, most journalists out there that Trump would target probably don't have enough money to even hire a lawyer, let alone fly back and forth to DC for depositions. So Biden needs to do the right thing. Honestly, I don't care about the members of Congress. Trump's not going to find anything on them. They got the money to handle it. They'll be fine. What worries me are these other folks out there that Donald Trump wants to go after. Those are the people that need protections. So those are the people that need the preemptive pardons the most. Thanks for watching, everybody. And if you're not already, please subscribe to the channel. We got fresh content every day for you. And if you want to follow us across social media, make sure you check out all of the social links that we have posted in the description of this video.